Welcome to the Youth Pulse podcast with me, Diko De Andrew. Today we are on our 13th episode of this very podcast, in which today's topic is debunking the myth about sexual health, in which each and every time أنا بكون عنده موضوع للنقاش مع شباب in which they're so energetic and they're so knowledgeable. So why not we dive into the conversation with them? And as we do always, we do love to introduce them. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, good... Yes.
As you said, thank you very much for having me on set. Our listeners from all around the corner in the country, and even if outside the country, outside the planet, want to welcome you here. And I'm really, really very happy to be here on set by Diko. My name is Mustafa Sabri. You can call me MC Saf, whatever you want to call me. You can call me also Daddy. I don't mind. So, anyways, I'm very grateful to be here.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Tell us more about you, like what do you do, what talent do you have?
Well, you know, living in South Sudan, you have to be doing something.
Okay.
Even if you don't do something, but you're doing something.
Yeah.
Because it is not easy.
That's
all
for
of
sure.
us are hustlers.
Yeah.
From all around the corner. But at the end of the day, I can say I'm a teacher. I'm a part-time teacher in Asalam Primary School and Melekia Primary School, and also carry out some shows at EBC Radio.
Okay.
So that's how
Interesting.
I'm surviving.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks for having me. My name is John Thorn. So,
بس كده?
yes, kida.
What do you do?
I'm a graphic designer,
Okay.
I'm a videographer, I'm a photographer. So, and also I'm a part-time communication associate at I Am Peace organization.
Interesting. I think we're going to be having a lot of discussion with the boys today. So why not we get into our topic, in which I think Gibelik Sabah, in which what are some of the common myths about sexual health that you think can affect young people of late?
Well, thank you very much. In the topic of sexual misconception, because, something is misconception is something which is misconfused or misguided or not supposed to be thought about it that way. So, some of the misconception is like sometimes, some people have it like you when you have to avoid pregnancy, when instead of using one protection, use double protection.
Yeah.
So this is some of the misconception that some people out there, they really think that the double one can really work.
Yeah.
But no, it's not that
it
way.
doesn't. Yeah.
Sometimes when you use a double, in fact, in truth, it will cause a lot of friction, and
Okay.
things can then go the other way.
Go sideways.
So with sexual misconception, some also have that idea that you cannot be contracted by STIs. STIs in full is sexual transmitted infections.
Yes.
So you cannot be contracted by it in the first time. So that is not true. Because whether it is the first time or the 100th time, if it's going to contract you by someone who's infected,
You
you're
will have
definitely
it.
going to be infected.
Oh, yeah.
So, the misconception about sex, so people think that when you have sex during the period, you're probably going to get pregnant.
Yeah.
But according to how I understand it, sex, when you're having sex, unprotected, and during period time,
Yeah.
so you will not have the pregnancy. You will not get pregnant. So these are misinterpretation that this are myth that people think things are happening.
Yeah.
So, and also, how do you call, like, during how the STI, like, if you are protected,
Yeah.
like you protect yourself with with a condom or anything to do with protection. So during the intercourse,
Yes.
people thought that, or people think, when you protect yourself, you will not be affected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be 50%. You can't be affected. But there are other parts that are not protected.
Yes.
You only protect the organs, but there are other part that touches during during the action.
Yeah.
So people need to understand that when you protect yourself, it's not 100% sure that you're going to, you're not going to get the STI.
In the other hand, as well, like some of the common things in the midst of our gender, the ladies became metagalketa arba panadol before sex and after sex, so that like you cannot get pregnant. So like this is some of these misconceptions. Like, oh my god, you don't know how bad this tablets can be affecting you for a long run, or even you can ask a doctor about this thing, because like too much of everything sometimes is not good. Lan panadol le wajaras bikengal abula wahid. Tata kirita biga bura abula arba. They're like, who are you? Like it's just really crazy.
Now, according to Kalamta Panadol, Panadol, what is the use of the Panadol?
Le
The
wajaras.
prescription. You need to ask yourself,
Yes.
what are the how do you call the things inside Panadol?
Yes.
Does it protect? How do you call?
Yes.
How do we getting pregnant? So probably sperm stays for 5 days in the body. So dawal is allowed. It's for headache. So
The
what is the
vocabulary is
connection
for
between,
another.
what is the connection between
Rehib tataki wajaras.
wajaras.
Yes.
So these are things that people need
You
to
see,
understand when people need
Yeah.
to
You
carry
see,
on.
talking about this misconception. That what I had is like you take 2 before and 2 after. I don't know now. This is another prescription.
As one in the beginning of Alfen
But-
Arbojrin.
But you see,
Yeah.
these people who do it, they are saved by God's grace.
I know.
That
That's
is
for
that
sure.
is really like that's the what do you call it, the edge of luck. But anyways, my listeners outside there never tried.
Yeah.
Because maybe luck will not be outside.
That's for sure. But now in between the myth that we have, the common myth that we have mentioned already, how can we differentiate between the sexual health myth and as well the fact? Because like some are fact, but some are just myth. How can we differentiate between the two?
Differentiating between the two. So you need to be knowledgeable on these issues.
Yeah.
So you need to consult how to call a doctor. You need to consult a nurse. So you also need to follow the websites of the CDC, the Center for how to call for Disease Control.
Yes.
The how to call the WHO, the World Health Organization, and you need to have a good information, accurate, cross-check.
Yeah.
You need to check out.
Yes.
So, and also attend how to call workshops, programs that help you understand how to call the health education.
Yes.
So you need to understand the health education in order to differentiate between how to call the real information or hajara lagiga or alma hagiga.
Yes.
So you need
Yeah.
to differentiate on this.
You know, also adding onto that, you have to be someone who's a critical thinker. Because, you know, in the world that we are living in right now, people tend to digest any form of information.
Yeah.
People don't use to.
Yet there's
people
more
don't do
disinformation
fact-checking.
outside that. Yes.
People don't do fact checking. So you know, as a youth and as somebody who is living in the country, you're gifted with the brain. You have to be a critical thinker. You have to think twice, thrice, 4 times, as long as it will lead you to the right way. And also, as my brother said, you have to be consulting trusted adults. Trusted, because
Yes.
not everybody outside there is trusted.
Yes.
So you need to be consulting trusted adults who will lead you and who will guide you into something which is true. And also you have to do consulting doctors and professionals, people who
Yes.
really are in that field.
Okay. In another hand, in what ways do you guys think those misconceptions about sexual health impact the well-being of a human being? Like mentally, physically, socially, all those things have impact, I feel like, to someone.
Yeah. So talking about the impact of the
the
sexual
misconception.
misconception, especially to the girls and to the young boys, it creates like a stigma. You know, there's a situation where you feel like you're not wanted in the community
Yes.
because you have had a misconception that before you do the action, you have to be taking 2 pills of Panadol, or maybe
Yeah.
you have to be taking
The
maybe
pills
double
even.
the protection.
Yes.
And you know this a little bit of misconception, but then when you do the action, you find that it goes contrary, and you find yourself having maybe a baby or a pregnancy. So being viewed in the community is going to be something very different, because as a young girl, maybe they think that maybe you are already done, and
It's a
there's a lot of
carabo.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult in the community how they are going to view the impact on the society,
Yeah.
actually. So sometimes these misconceptions, after taking them, so sometimes we don't know where you're going to end.
Yeah.
Sometimes what is the results? So the impact, it can be negative and it can be positive. Depends on how do you call the information or the medicine you take, and how you make the use of the information. So it's so bad that whenever you take or you go overdose and to it, so the impact might be negative. you might end up in Tabimuto.
Yeah, I
so,
know.
and it's not a good whatever.
Because
It's not
like
good, I don't
sometimes
mind
even like it can take to overdose. Sometimes I'm saying
Mhm.
with the pills,
Mhm.
it can take you to the overdose, and even like with you doubling as the male gender, you if it can get a double condom there can jam amuleta rashes or skin disease, and it can lead to many things. Because like let us put in mind that those are private parts, and private part they are so sensitive and sensitive. Why? That's why it's being covered every time. It I not believe it's libas, huh? Like no need for that, because there's a reason for everything.
Yeah.
There's a reason to everything. That's why like we really need to be taking care about our health. But it's still when it comes to sex education, like how can comprehensive sex education help in debunking the myth about the sexual health?
You know, comprehensive sex education is something which is very, very, very crucial and very important, because the society that we're living in right now is transforming, and it's transforming in a good way, whether in a way where we're teaching our kids how to do this and how to behave and how to eat well and how to dress well, how to go to school, learn.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's also a side that is being shadowed.
Yes.
That is the sexual education. So comprehensive sexual education is very important. And you know, the first people or the role models who we get our supposedly sexual education from is our parents.
Yeah.
And you know, the lifestyle that we're living right now, we don't have parents who are interacting really with their kids about these kind of things. So it will be very difficult. But at the end of the day, if the parents fail, it is a job of the school.
Yeah.
The school at least has to try to
Educate.
provide the sexual education, because and kill all the misconceptions about
malakin
it.
hasida an hena lojina fi nahiya tani anna maarufan anna junubin kan da bikerim kalamta sex wa jadda biken gali haja haram. Even like I from this interview, you'll be judged for whatever that you people are saying on today's episode.
You're
Lakin
professional.
Lisa, you said that professionals by the way. Lakin احنا كان جينا في مجتمعاتنا أنا بحس كانوا إنه مفترض التعليم ده بيبرا من جوهوش. مفترض أهالي تنا بالي من أننا قال في 1 2 3 أو even كان قال بني ده سكر ولا ولد ده سكر في طريقة اللي بقدر فهم بوزول على أساس إنه there is this and there is that and there is that, other than you putting it to the teacher at the school. Yet that there be there someone دال في كتاب. لكن still fita jaribu re obu jaribu otala hamilan obu jaribu obu kun behamilu 3 banat 4 banat, so in which it's going to be a lot of issue. I don't know.
The sex education, like what we need to do as parents. So we need to implement the culture of talking to our kids.
Yes.
Jana kan bega wasol 7 sana wala 8 sana. So this is the duration.
They have a lot of questions.
You need to how do call.
Yes.
You need to tell them A and B and C.
Yeah.
So ita kan tala bara hinak. You need to do A and B and C.
Yes.
So teach them. Teach them. Mata stana la kare galibi the super school. There are ways that this kid is going to learn things. You know, we are having a lot in our generation, the devices, the movies.
Yes.
When they see things, they need to
even
try.
في حلة.
They need to try.
Yes.
So before reaching to the age and for zaman Allah bijari bahagare, so he need to have, he or she have to have how to call a knowledge about sex education.
That's for
sex
sure.
itself. So we need to teach before a teacher. A teacher is just someone who is helping direct the kid.
Yeah.
But the first teacher is a parent.
That, as I say, charity begins at home.
That's for sure. And even like in addition to that, like why do you guys think it's so important for us to have an open conversation? Because like the teenage life is a very dangerous age, and I bet you people have passed by that, in which like maybe some of you have good parents, they taught you, some only go in uncle, only go in cousins, only go in friends, only go physical. So like why is it so important for us to be having this open conversation about sexual health?
As I said earlier, you know, having conversation about sexual health is very essential and very important.
Yeah.
In the essence where the teens, you know, as the teenage life, it is a period of time where you learn a lot, you do a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of things that is involved in the teenage life. So beside the work of parents providing food in the family and you know, taking care of the kids, you have to make sure that you teach them what is right and what is wrong, because that is like you're building their foundation. So once, like for example, we say as Diko قلت لنا يعني شفت يعني كلامات كده وحاجات اللي قاعدين نقولوا ده يعني في بيتنا اصلا حاجات اللي بيقولوا لك ده حرام فعلا انه حرام. lakin ita kan werile jena ta kigalu haram
Oh,
best
wow.
ta akhir kida it's about
He will go and try that thing. Like, why are they
it's about
pulling me
so
away
you have
from
to
it?
give them the clue. You have to give them the clue.
Yeah.
Do this and that will happen. Don't do this and this is the right way.
That's for sure.
So having that conversation with the youth and with the teens, and also there has to be like organizing seminars for the youth, so that they should be engaging in this kind of talks and how they can help build their lives.
Okay.
So it is very important for us to have the sex education in a way that the child will have knowledge about sex, about how to call things to do with that environment. So, like we're reaching to the age of maybe 13, 12, and 14. Once the child has a knowledge, by this age you will have ministration.
Yes.
So when it comes, so this child knows that this thing is not new. It's just my first time experiencing it. When it happens, I have to do A and B and C. So teaching a child, you don't need to have sex. You need to have sex after marriage.
Yeah.
A child trusts a parents more than anyone in the world. So ita kan woro galle haram. Now the teacher de boro galle ma haram. The friend will tell them haram. So now you're creating mistrust between you and the child.
Yes.
So we need to teach our kids. It's very important. The kids will have knowledge about it. The kids how to go it avoided how the early marriage.
Yes.
So reaching a particular age, a child will never have sex because you've already told that ita kan have sex by this age.
Yes.
You will never be like Dico de Andro. So a child, you are inspirational.
Yeah.
So compare your child to anyone. Tell them that this is your role model. You want it to be like this person. Do not have sex before marriage.
Yes.
So these people never had sex until they are married.
That's for sure.
So for me to achieve that goal, I don't need to have this. This one is reduce risks of having early marriage at early age.
Yeah. There's a scenario in which it had happened. I heard this story. They can a child of an 8 years old, I think they sleep in the same room because of economic crisis and whatever. They're sleeping in the same room with the parents. The parents, I think that very night they had sex, right? In the morning, Jenna, he's just saying whatever that he saw. So imagine that's Bashir besides Sabah and the kids started telling people like you people were having sex yesterday. How it will do skill dekef? Yet you are the problem. How will even like try to erase? Yala skill yalde. The colors memory to mumfadi they just absorb anything.
Sometimes if you wanted your child not to do anything, that particular thing matter amul gidam to. You cannot tell the child not to not to smoke because you know it's bad. Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Be an example. Do not have sex near Gerima Yeltaki. So you know it's bad. You know the child you don't need to have it.
That's for sure.
So sometimes things that we tell the kids not to do, we shouldn't do it.
That's for sure.
If we are doing it, we should not do it in their presence.
That's for sure. What do you guys think the role of the healthcare and schools and parents and the community provides the play in correcting misinformation about sex?
Well, thank you very much. You mentioned a lot of things, starting from the healthcare to the schools to the parents. Let me start with the healthcare. Starting with the healthcare, it is the duty of the healthcare to inform the youth because there are people who are in their 20s and in their 30s.
They don't know
have
yet.
the knowledge. You find it is somehow amusing because it surprises me sometimes. You find someone who's supposedly all enough.
يلا تتخيل شكل ده بينادو ده كان جنا ماما ده حمام ساكت كان ما واجلو زمن ده
يلا سو خلاص زمن قالوا قالك خلاص ودير كفر
خلاص it will be the worst خلاص that's for sure.
So زمن قالوا خلاص decide قال خلاص يا زول ودير كفر وكمان you find ودخل في مشكلة.
Yes.
شيء راسولو بنيادة في بيت
ما بنيا وايد كمان.
So it شفت يعني it is something which is very 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 sad. At the end of the day, it is the role of the healthcare. They have to get out the sensitivity as much as possible to the people who are coming. Like for example, the youth who go to the hospital, they need to be having like a little bit of arts and telling them the steps and what is good and how you should avoid it and how you should be dealing with this kind of situation. And also to the schools, as we said, the school is our second home, and the parents are our first teachers, and the teachers are our second teachers, and life goes on. So because we spend most of the time in the school, they have to also, beside the curriculum they give us, they should give us how we can deal with our life.
But don't
Starting
you
from
think so
hygiene.
with our community and our parents, they will be saying like the health cares and the teachers are the ones spoiling the kids, because we can go takumbiga bali muyalta na adoption.
Exactly.
Yes.
So and this is the mentality that needs to be gotten out from South Sudanese culture, because we have grown up in a culture that is very seclusive. You can think about it. Our parents are living in 19s. They are living in the old Sudan.
Yes.
Where you have, like a woman is supposed to be to not talk to men.
Yes.
And in this world right now where we're living, there's something called what do you call it? It's
Culture crisis?
interactions and interconnections.
Yes.
Because sometimes you have to talk for you to get an opportunity.
Yes.
Like for example, if Dico is not talking, you wouldn't be here. So you see, if you're not talking, you wouldn't be here. So you have to be interacting, people have to be talking, and we have to adapt. As the parents, they need to adapt to this kind of situations. They need to adapt to this kind of society, because as the society is changing, our way of approaching the society also has to change. That's what I think.
So basically, I will talk about the schools. So we know most of our parents, they did not go to school. So sending these kids to school, they are still having the beliefs of the grandfathers that chocolate haram. So what you need to do as a school, before you should give knowledge to these teachers, organize PTA meeting, workshops at the schools.
Yeah.
Bring
But
these parents down.
PTA is Parent Teacher Association.
Association.
Yeah.
So organize this kind of programs in the school. Bring this, bring these parents down. Tell them that it's very important. It's very important to have to teach these kids health education. So it creates it gives them knowledge whereby takambiga ja worle jenare kanja worle mama fibet mama wants to gale haram because mama has already the knowledge that this school told us that we are going to teach sex education and the important is it's 1, 2, 3. So how teachers should play a major role in the community and in the society in changing the mindset of everyone in the society and everyone in the country.
But still, I want to get your own view about this, because like I asked earlier on, like with the healthcares and the schools, like don't you think so also, like the parents and the community will be saying like madrasa da makois ambira haljana time foga shambiga bali mu yalta na adab makois.
You pursue them. You create a communication skill whereby how you communicate. Sometimes how you communicate this information makes things different.
Yeah.
So ita kanja bes beterigal bes you just wanted to tell.
Yeah.
This parent will say, school them quiz. This healthcare is not good.
Yeah.
But how you communicate, how you present your point, convinces the person who's listening to you. It's how you how you portray or how you deliver your message.
Yeah.
If you deliver in a good way, strategically, you need to understand the person you're giving the information to. So communication is very important in this matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And as well, when it comes to the young people, like how can younger people have access to accurate information about sexual health, and as well making them make that very informative decision that they want to take? Because like if we are going to be sharing, maybe we can say phones, we can say internet, we can say books, we can say friends. Like in I feel like it's have more negative than positive. Yeah, because like analysts are like another jeribu and the kidip kerana no kere kambamu nefsa tokef. Yeah.
So as we said, how these young people can access accurate information. We have been talking a lot about it. As the young people, they tend to grow, and in the process of growing, they learn a lot and they do a lot of mistakes. So now how they are going to access that information is like, as I said earlier, through trusted adults and through professional consultants, that is doctors, health cares, not just someone around the corner who will tell you just swallow 7 Panadols. Nah, that is not the way. And also through attending, sexual education seminars, if they are there. So, that's a lot of ways how we can make sure that they access information.
Okay.
I will talk about the media part of it. So these youths should listen to how do you call an accurate media. Let me give an example of iRadio. Listen to how do you call programs that talk about sex education.
Yeah.
This registered media, they don't give fake information. These are accurate information. And also once you get the information, you need to fact check, cross check it, make sure this information, how do you call, is real. So you need to have a knowledge of how do you call, cross checking your information.
Yeah.
So you don't need just to jump. Ana kan rota you know. Ana gairo min panadol ana ga paracetamol.
Someone will believe.
Because
I know.
because I've gone to school.
Yes.
You believe
feel
that me
like
going to school.
yeah.
I know everything.
And the name sounds sexy to the show.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Paracetamol, you know. So you need to fact check.
Yeah.
Actually, the doctor when you're having problems like the administration, the staff, so you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Not approach someone who is not in the medical field.
Pikenga ketara ser dikertimelo.
Go to someone who is professional about this. I need to doubt the result you're asking the information from. Please believe that doubt. Go to someone else.
Yes.
That's the way we can we can access information about how to call the misconception of this, the conceptions of this.
Yeah.
So that's how we can do with that.
Yeah. It's always interesting that whenever it comes to the Youth Pulse podcast, we always do speak from our hearts. And guess what? We came to an end with our episode today. Each and every time we just get this conversation, someone that's why I always keep promising you that there will always be part 2 of each and every interesting conversation that we have with our guests today. For me to you, as this have been a very crucial conversation with our 2 guests today. Catch up with us next time with another interesting topic and continue to live and just do the liking and the subscribe, and don't forget to comment and share with your loved ones, because those are the topics that we always do love to speak from our hearts. From me to you, my name is Diko De Andrew. A very lovely time.
The Youth Pulse podcast, speaking from our hearts.